Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Kamusta? Kamusta? How are you? So the first word is, how are you? In Filipino, kamusta? So this is very useful when you pass by someone, you want to know how they are, right? Or you just want to ask someone how they are. At ikaw? At ikaw. And you? At ikaw? Or in English, and you? How do you usually respond when people ask you, how are you? And you? So if you are trying to avoid answering this question, you can ask, at ikaw? Or, and you? Probably you're like feeling too tired from work or something, right? Or you can, like casually, more people would say, ikaw? Or just simply, ikaw? It all means, and you. So it's a kind of like a nice gesture if someone asks you, how are you? And then you want to ask the same question because you just want to be nice. Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Kamusta ka naman kamakailan? How have you been recently? So if you want to be more specific about asking them how they are in a certain period of time, you can ask, kamusta ka naman kamakailan? Or, how have you been recently? So, probably you would have friends that would have gone to vacation or would have found a new job or would have graduated from university, which is all me. And then, you can ask them, how have you been recently? Mabuti ako. Mabuti ako. I'm fine. So how do you answer all these how are you questions and variations of how are you? First, you can say, if you are really feeling this, mabuti ako, or I'm fine. Of course, you can say it if you're not fine, right? I mean, if you just want to because sometimes when you say, I'm not so okay, I'm feeling a bit down, then they would ask you more things. But sometimes if you don't want to answer any of these things, but you are not fine, you can still say, I'm fine. But in Filipino, you ask people how are you because you want to know how they are. Or we don't really say this as a greeting. Okay naman ako. Okay naman ako. I'm not bad. Aside from I'm fine, how can you respond to how are you? You can say, okay naman ako, or I'm not bad. So if you are feeling like saying that you are not so fine, but you are also not fine, you can say, well, I'm not bad. It's okay. Everything's cool. But I'm crying inside. I'm dead inside. Okay. Inaantok ako. Inaantok ako. I'm sleepy. If you're feeling sleepy, you can say, inaantok ako, or I'm sleepy. After lunch, usually that's the time when you feel this, you're really sleepy. Even though you have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy, or sometimes you don't have lots of work, you're feeling sleepy. So, you can say it. It's valid, it's okay. Just don't say it to your boss. I don't think, if your boss asks you, how are you? I'm sleepy. Oh, that's not really good. Well, probably should go home, not come back anymore. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. That's how it will go, right? Masama ang pakiramdam ko. Masama ang pakiramdam ko. I'm feeling bad. Or if you are not feeling so well, you can say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Or, I'm feeling bad. So, you can say this if you have a bit of cold, for instance, or your stomach is upset, or what else? Or you have a broken heart, like those kinds of things. So if you want to say that you're feeling bad, you say, masama ang pakiramdam ko. Okay ako. Okay ako. I'm okay. But what if you're just fine? What if you're just okay, but you don't want to say, I'm fine? Or, mabuti naman ako, or ayos naman ako. You can also say, casually, okay ako. Which is very casual. Very simple, okay ako. Okay na okay ako. Okay na okay ako. I'm great. If you want to say that you are really doing great, then you can say, okay na okay ako. You would have to note that in Filipino, when you repeat words, what's it called? It's a superlative version of the adjective, kind of. But it's not. But it's kind of like amps up the impact of the adjective. So it's equivalent to very. So you would say, okay na okay ako, meaning I'm super duper okay, right? Or if you're really, for instance, sleepy, you would say, antok na antok ako, instead of just saying antok ako, right? Salamat sa pagtatanong. Salamat sa pagtatanong. Thank you for asking. And for instance, you were feeling bad and then this person that asked you, how are you, made you feel happy, then you can say, thank you for asking, or salamat sa pagtatanong. Because of course, you felt happy that someone asked you, especially if you're feeling bad.
Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Could I get a map? Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Could I get a map? If you don't wanna use up your roaming on your Google Maps, there's always maps in the tourist information guide. Or actually, in bookstores, you could also buy maps if you need them. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Do you speak English? Here's another phrase you might wanna learn. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Do you speak English? Well, perhaps the answer to this is maybe perhaps yes. I don't know. But let's not assume. Let's not assume that everyone in the Philippines speak English, but most of us do. May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? Well, if you are flying from Manila, the airport is actually in the middle of the city, so you don't really need a bus. I wouldn't really know because my family is very nice enough to always get me from the airport if I need to be coming from the airport in the Philippines. Thank you, family! Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? Is the Wi-Fi free? In this day and age, I think this one is very important. Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? This means, is the Wi-Fi free? Yeah, so like if you have your iPhone, iMac, I love you with you, then you might want to get a Wi-Fi. Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? Do you have any vacancies tonight? Okay, here's another phrase you might want to know when you're asking at a hotel. Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? This means, do you have any vacancies for tonight? So yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't reserve beforehand at the hotel, but in case you didn't, this is a good phrase you might want to remember. Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Could I move to a different room? Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Could I move to a different room? You know, you never know. Maybe you have noisy neighbors, or you just feel like there's someone else in the room. Let's hope not. Then you might want to ask this question. May reservation ako. I have a reservation. May reservation ako. May reservation ako. I have a reservation. Yeah, it's very simple. Easy to remember. May, it sounds like the 5th month of the year. Reservation. Reservation. Ako. Me. May reservation ako. Pwedeng makahingi ng menu? Could we have the menu, please? Okay, so here's another one that I think you will find useful and would use a lot since food is very cheap in the Philippines and you want to try a lot of restaurants. Pwedeng makahingi ng menu. Pwedeng makahingi ng menu. Could we have the menu, please? There you go. Eat to your heart's content. Try out all the restaurants you want and just don't go to McDonald's every time. Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Could I have the check? Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Could I have the check? So usually there's a gesture in the Philippines for the check and it's like this. It's like a rectangle. So when you do this to the waiter or waitress, whatever, then that means you want the bill. But you could also remember this word. You could also try and remember this phrase. Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Allergic ako sa mani. I'm allergic to peanuts. Okay, here's one very important travel phrase in case you're someone like this. Allergic ako sa mani. Allergic ako sa mani. I'm allergic to peanuts. Allergic is also the same in Filipino. So you just need to find the Filipino word for the thing that you're allergic to. Like in this case, peanuts is mani. Like maybe chicken. Chicken is manok. Allergic ako sa manok. Shrimp, maybe shrimp. Allergic ako sa hipon. Anyway, if you're allergic to something and you want to find out what it is in Filipino, perhaps maybe you could just put it in the comments and we'll try to help you out. Tubig po. Water please. Here's another travel phrase you should know. Tubig po. Water please. So here po doesn't actually mean please. It's a polite particle. You add it to the sentence to make it sound polite because you want to be polite when asking for water since it's like free. You need to be polite. Magkano ito? How much is this? Magkano ito? Magkano ito? This means, how much is this? So yeah, definitely travel also means you want to go shopping. So you might want to remember this phrase. How much is this? Magkano ito? So ito actually is this. So it has to be somewhere near you. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. I'd like 10 of these. Okay, so if you want not just one of something, you could try using this one. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. This means I'd like 10 of these. 10 means 10. So if you replace 10 with another number, then you could make any sentence you want. For example, you want, 50. 50 is 50. So, gusto ko ng 50 nito. Or if you just want 3, you could say, gusto ko ng 3 nito. I don't know what these are. But if it's 10, maybe it's like some kind of souvenir, Pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Could you give me a discount? Hey, another travel phrase you should know is, especially in the Philippines and if you want to have some bargain, pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Could you give me a discount? So, here's a tip when you're trying to bargain for something. You don't just ask this. You should have a price in mind that you would like to offer them back. So, it's more of like a negotiation, not like, oh, can you give me a discount? They'll probably ask you, so how much would you like to buy it for? So you have to be prepared for that and not just ask, give me a discount. You have to name your price as well. Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Do you take credit card? Here's another phrase that you might want to know when traveling. Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Do you take credit card? So yeah, of course, you just have a limited cash that you exchange. Your currency for the local currency. So you might want to just spend cash in the places that don't accept credit card, or else you might really need it somewhere that doesn't accept anything else but cash and you didn't have it. So yeah, you might want to ask this question a lot. Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Where's the train station? Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Where's the train station? There's not really much train stations in the Philippines, but there's just like a few of them, maybe 20, 30. And they're only just in Metro Manila, so... But bus stations are also not that common. It's basically... Maybe we should like make a whole video discussing transportation in the Philippines, because it's very complicated actually. It's not just like, hey, there's trains and stations. It's more of like, you need to know which buses take which route and how much it costs beforehand, because anyway, you need to be a real veteran to survive Philippine public transportation.
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Salamat, pero sa totoo lang, hindi ako isang native speaker. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. If you start learning now, you'll be one of those few foreigners who can amaze Filipinos.
Next one is energy drink. It means energy drinks. Okay, you could use it in this sentence. Like, mahilig si Tom uminom ng energy drink. Which means Tom loves drinking energy drinks. I'd like to replace Tom with Ice. Ice likes to drink energy drinks. But Monster is my favorite one. Energy drinks. This is Filipino energy drink. It's called Cobra. And there's lots of flavors. Nalulumbay. This means lonely. Actually, this is quite like an old word. Like, it's kind of poetic even to say nalulumbay. It's just, it makes it look, it feels very dark. So if you have a friend, Carmen, who's lonely, then maybe you could use this sentence. Nalulumbay si Carmen ngayon, kaya pupuntahan ko siya. Nalulumbay si Carmen ngayon, kaya pupuntahan ko siya. Carmen is lonely now, so I will go to her. You're such a good friend. Carmen is very fortunate to have you. I feel like it's a very good thing to do for a friend who's lonely.
Our next word is porsyento. In English, percent. Ilang porsyento ang income tax sa Pilipinas? Ilang porsyento ang income tax sa Pilipinas? How much is the income tax percentage in the Philippines?
This is one of my favorite things in a restaurant. Tubig. Because, you know, in the Philippines it's hot and it's like you just, like after walking around all day or doing shopping or something, then you just want to sit down and like get that like very refreshing cold water. Yeah. But not only is it refreshing, it's also good for you. So just like in this sentence, magtubig lang tayo kasi libre na, maganda pa para sa kalusugan. Magtubig lang tayo kasi libre na, maganda pa para sa kalusugan. Let's just have water since it's free and it's good for the health. So, this is true. Water for life!
Ang Davao ang isa sa pinakamatiwasay na lungsod sa Pilipinas. Ang Davao ang isa sa pinakamatiwasay na lungsod sa Pilipinas. Davao is one of the safest cities in the Philippines. So I've been to Davao, I think twice. Really clean city. Really, and the thing that I enjoyed most in Davao is tuna. Davao is known for tuna and durian, right? Also. And tuna there, it's very affordable and very, very good and very, very fresh. I was there with some of my Japanese colleagues, and every day we're eating tuna. It's tuna. But we liked it. So we ordered like tuna belly, or tuna cheek, or tuna jaw, or tuna head. And it's the same thing. Like the entire tuna, but chopped. So, if you want to eat really good tuna and durian, please come to Davao. Gumamit na mga produktong eco-friendly, which means to use eco-friendly products. Ang pagdala ng tote bag sa pamimili sa grocery ay isang paraan ng paggamit ng produktong eco-friendly. Bringing a tote bag to the grocery store is a way of using eco-friendly products. Magsaya kasama ang mga kaibigan. In English, to have fun with friends. Mas mainam pang magsaya kasama ang mga kaibigan kaysa mag-party, magdamag. It's better to have fun with friends than to party all night. So much not funnier. But you can do anything that you want since it's summer. No one will judge you. It's summer. This is very useful actually if you're very enthusiastic to see your friend that you haven't seen since summer vacation. Next gift idea is magarbong kainan or fancy restaurant. Maraming magarbong kainan sa Manila. There are a lot of fancy restaurants in Manila. Online, you can buy vouchers, right, for discounted tickets, discounted prices for meals in different fancy restaurants. So I remember my brother when he had his, I don't know how old he is, but when he treated us for his birthday, he bought some vouchers online for this very fancy restaurant. So we went there and then it was his treat. And he saved a lot of money. And then we ate a lot actually. So you can buy those things online. There's so many places online, Philippine websites, right, that they sell those gift certificates and vouchers. Salamat or thank you.
Can I borrow money? Guess not. I know this word is a favorite for a lot of people, but I think a lot of people also want to know what this sentence is in Filipino. Wala akong pera. Wala akong pera. Which means I have no money. So I cannot treat you anything. But if we have love, that's enough, I think.
How do you express agreement in Filipino? You say, oo, which means yes. Very simple. For example, there's an older person talking to you and you want to say yes. You should be a bit more polite and say opo. So what if you want to say no? Then you use hindi. Or if you want to be polite, you say hindi po. So, say you have a friend who asks you, do you want to drink with me all night, have party all night, you know, those kind of things. And then you say, yeah, fine, okay. So, in Filipino, you say, sige, gamitin, to use. So, for example, I don't know where you can use actually, you can use gamitin a lot. For example, let's use it in a proper sentence. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang may nakasulat na bawal gamitin. So, in English, we can say, we can't use the ones which are marked don't use. I have a pretty straightforward, don't use it. If you did something really, really bad, then we use patawad. I'm sorry, lumabas, or to go out. So, you want to ask permission from your parents before you go out. How do we say it in Filipino? Magpaalam ka muna sa iyong mga magulang bago ka lumabas. Ask permission from your parents before you go out. Someday, kids, you will be parents too. Nasaan ang CR? Or, to be polite, because even at that time, you have to be polite, even if it's like really urgent. You have to be polite. You say, nasaan po ang CR? The next verb is magtrabaho, or to work. So, for example, you want to say, as much as possible, I don't want to work overtime. In Filipino, you can tell your boss, ayaw kong magtrabaho ng overtime hanggat maaari. It's the way you conjugate verbs, but it's in Filipino. And then trabajo comes from the Spanish word trabajo. So if you say to your boss, because your boss is asking you, where is the report? You want to say, wait a moment. So you say, sandali lang po. So your friends came over to your house and you haven't taken a bath. You haven't fixed yourself. And then your friends just want to go out to have fun. But you want to say, wait a moment, wait a minute. Give me like an hour or something to at least get ready. So you would say, Sandali lang. So next verb is maramdaman or to feel. For example, you really are irritated with a person and you don't want the person to feel that you're irritated with him or her. So if you want to say in English, I don't want her to feel that I'm frustrated, then you would say in Filipino, ayaw kong maramdaman niya ang inis ko sa kanya. But I think you have to approach her and tell her that you are frustrated. So go ahead and tell her. After dinner, you want to pay because it's your treat, because you forced your friends to eat adobo. So you would ask the waitress or the waiter for the check. So how do you say it in Filipino? Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Could I get the check, please? Or, if you cannot remember all these, just simply do this. Mag-iwan. It actually means to leave something. You want to say in Filipino, mag-iwan ka ng 500 pesos or ng 500 piso para pambili ng pagkain. In English, please leave 500 pesos to buy food. It's the end of the day and you've had fun with your friends. So you tell your friends, oh, okay, bye. See you again soon. Which in Filipino is hanggang sa muli. But in regular conversations, you don't really say this. We tend to say, see you or sige.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.